I
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
friend of mine. I have a friend of mine. He's a Marcus has talked to him. He hasn't met him. Who has partially lived in D.C. Black PMC type careerist, lawyer dude. Good job, upstanding citizen, good looking guy. He was like, man, I love DC, man. Don't you love DC, man? I was like, I hate DC. He was like, why don't you like DC, man? He's like, lots of women there, professional career women, dressed up and nice at the heels with a business suit. I was like, I despise those kind of people. He's like,
Mhm.
why, man? It's because they're completely contrived and manufactured. They have absolutely no transparency. They're resume people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the thing is, though, is like there's like a legit reason why Obama's tan suit made so much news. You know,
DC
like
is one of those
it's
cities where like one out of every eight people is a lawyer. Why would I want to be in that kind of cesspool? And I'm a lawyer.
It sounds like a horrible place.
I know what these people are like.
Sounds like a horrible place.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's like it's all like you said. All these people, it's just manufactured, and that's just like when people come to DC, they very quickly adopt, and like I'm saying it because I did it. Every time I fucking came in here, it was a fucking you got to be DC me, you
Mhm.
know. And you got to make sure, yeah, like no shit down, and like make sure like what's the lapel pin that you're going with fucking today, you know. Do you have your one
Introduced
pagers
by
and
your resume,
and
right?
like
Yeah,
literally just like if you see someone in a fucking elevator, are you ready to fucking make your pitch? It's like literally like a fucking yeah. It's like a salesman fucking wish list, except this is where the rules are made that govern our society and largely the world.
And that's why I
he
couldn't
his
fuck with LA.
yeah, I can imagine. I couldn't be in LA. His argument was like, "Oh, I like DC because everyone there is so on point. Everyone there is sharp and bright. It's not." He lives in Atlanta. He's like, "It's not like Atlanta where everyone's faking it and there's so many people that are so dumb." I was like, I mean, I understand your problems with Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta is very superficial. I think Atlanta is like the black version of LA. Like
Yes.
Atlanta is LA for black people.
Yes.
But
Literally, because of Tyler
yeah,
Perry Studio too. Yeah, literally.
I was like, I've been to DC a couple of times. I never got the sense that DC was abound in intellectuals. I
Mhm.
got the sense that it was abound in careerists.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, the one city that I've lived in and I've been in where I can tell you I felt like there were a lot of intellectuals was Boston.
Yeah. You have
Because of,
MIT,
was that?
Boston College. You have MIT, Boston College. Yeah, there's a ton. There's a
Oh,
tons of
yeah.
colleges in this little bitty fucking and tons of liberal arts schools too in this little
Yeah,
bitty state.
Simmons, all these schools. So that's one town I can say where I feel like okay, I feel there's a cerebral kind of energy here. But DC, it's career as vampires, man.
Yeah.
It's hardcore resume people. Like, I know that world, man. I've been out of law school since the '90s. I've known a lot of careerist people, particularly careerist black folk, and you know, not all of them are bad people, but just a lot of fake it till you make it bullshit.
Well, that's the fucking motto of the day in that community though.
Rise and grind, figure till you make it.
Oh
People
yeah,
that want to be have you ever been around a bunch of Instagram influencers or aspiring Instagram influencers?
Oh God.
Have you ever been around an aspiring anything?
I mean, yeah, I've been around aspiring lawyers, aspiring doctors,
Well,
aspiring
and
all
like,
kinds of
yeah, I'll
careerist
tell you this,
motherfuckers.
like straight up is like my first instances either like going like DC or working the state house, was completely like all of that, right? It's like a fucking varying degrees of Gordon Gecko bullshit where you're
Yes.
always be closing and you make
Yes.
sure you got your fucking pens handy and your cards handy and all, then like it is all of this fucking fake bullshit because it's like a lot of this shit is just fucking, a lot of made up and who right? A lot of it is just who you fucking know, and that's all people are trying to get to is that next level of who you know.
You know,
Yeah. The ladder of importance. I did again. That's why I hate LA. DC, I'm not in that world, so it doesn't bother me. My time in the DC area has always been within the service sector because those are the kind of people that listen to my music. So if I'm in DC, I'm going to be dealing with literally the working class, the people that serve the people that you're talking about, Marcus, because there is classes in DC, and it's a
100.
major fucking difference. And that was one of the first lessons I learned in going there. That look, most of the people here are aspiring to be on the hill in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is serving the people that aspire to be on the hill.
And man,
And
like, man, I was like, some of these, and one of these little. This is actually before I was a staffer, but I just like got it some. What's up?
someone's quoting. You said
Coffees
always
for
be closing,
closers.
which is from actually Glenn Ross, the play that became a movie.
Great
And
movie.
Alec Baldwin's scene is probably the most profound scene in the influencer culture. The coffees for closers. You see that car out there? It costs more than you make in a year.
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, and I guess that's where too of like there is like that money, but like that money isn't really like too much of what DC. You know, and it's like you don't see that type of like real flaunt. As you probably will do in like LA, but it's a different.
It's not that kind of floss. It's a
Yeah,
different
it's a
floss.
power
Yeah.
floss. It's like
Power
it literally
floss.
is a
It's a
power
power floss.
floss,
It's very,
right? Where
it's a
like
power.
the staffer for Mitch McConnell is walking around like he's got the fucking best stuff in town, right?
Yeah.
Like DC is a town where what's on your business card means more than what kind of car you drive.
Yeah.
Like, okay, oh, you're a staffer for who? Or you work for what lobbyist firm? Or you're a partner? Or you're just an associate
You
at
might not even
where?
have a fucking car. You might not even have a damn car. Hell, you can't afford a car
It's
if you're
business
living
card.
a few blocks off the hill.
DC, New York, largely. DC and New York are like that, but DC is definitely what you call a business card town. It's a business card town.
Yep.